Hello everyone, today we're taking a look at the Emax Synhawk Mini. Features 1303.5 motors, but I don't have a precise KV and I can't quite make it out on the motor. 2.5 EMAG tri-bladed Avon props. Specifications don't list the all-in-one flight controller down in there, but the USB port is right there. Of course, this is made for the DJI 3 system, which you can see the camera right here, and the VTX right here. The design features a clean and dirty system with these rubber grommets like we've seen a few years back. Oh my god, he made the Acrobat, I believe. I don't see where we have an option to order it with GPS, but the frame does come ready for GPS. You would mount right here. You can see a little clip down here and then a wiring path right up through here. This little bit that I'm wiggling right here, that's the Express LRS receiver, and it did come with version 3.3. Got a rubberized but non-texturized battery mat. Got a little trap for our battery wires, but that's not going to keep it from pulling on our all-in-one. Carbon fiber thickness looks to be about 3 millimeters thick, and motor post to motor post looks about like 107 millimeters. The prop protection isn't hard, it's not soft either. Kind of hard to describe. Synhawk Mini weighs 144 grams without a battery. I tested all these different sizes and brands of batteries over multiple packs. With the largest battery at 930 milliamp from G&B, of course that's 4S, we get just under 250 grams at 244.5 grams. The long 850, which it is designed for, comes in at 212.5 grams. The more traditional square 850 from G&B comes in at 232 grams. The Beta FPV Lava 850 milliamp 4S battery comes in just under 240 grams. This, what I suspect is a rebranded G&B 724S from sub 250, is 212 grams. And the more traditional 650 milliamp 4S G&B battery comes in at 214.5 grams. All right, we're going to start off with our inside sample because this is, unfortunately, this is the best it does. I did not find my flight samples outside as far as a filming or cinematic sort of drone came out to my satisfaction. So it would appear that this one, as of right now, unless something is wrong with mine, which we'll talk more about, this is its best case from scenario. It's going to get the what I think is smooth video, much smoother than I got outside, and I did exhaustive testing, and I spent a lot of time outside trying different things before I finally moved inside. Kind of, split my troubleshooting in half. It's 2.5 inch. As I measured it motor post to motor post. It's sizable, so you wouldn't fit small gaps inside, but it is definitely one that you could use inside for filming. But there is no GoPro mount, so if you wanted to fly a light or naked GoPro, that's just not an option on this one unless you do some heavy DIY on it in order to be able to mount your own light or naked GoPro. Some flight times to report. These are outside flight times with the 930 milliamp battery that I showed you. That comes in at a about 9 minute flight time. The longer, flatter 850 comes in around 7 minutes. The longer, flatter 720, 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Oddly enough, I got more flight time from the 720 than I got from the 850, same sort of format. The more square, 650, kind of the last battery I showed you, I got 6 minutes of slow, flat flying. The 850 Lava, and pretty much the G&B 850 that's more traditionally square, 8.5 minutes on those. So it seems as though you'd probably want to use, if you want the longest flight time, you want to go with that 930. There may be other batteries on the market you could use, but in my testing, that was the longest flight time that I got, was 9 minutes, about 9 minutes on the 930 milliamp. The next step would be the 850. Did a little upstairs tour there for you. We do have our 19-year-old back from college. He's going to be taking, I think it's 2 summer courses. Then you get to see the upstairs, which doesn't happen very much, but for whatever reason, I just got a wild hair. I think this is the second time here most recently that I have flown upstairs, so a little bit of an upstairs tour. There is a little extra clutter in the house, of course, when you move someone who's been away for 8 or 9 months back into the home. There's acclimation that is going on. Okay, so hopefully you had a nice, good, long view look at the inside flight, and I think that's important because as we move on here to the outside flight, I'm just not seeing that the flight footage is as stable. What we're currently looking at is the VTX recording on the VTX itself, so not the DVR. And you can see some pretty consistent jitters. The wind is only 4 miles an hour. This is the lowest miles per hour day that generally we get. Every once in a great while, if you watch every video on the channel, you'll see where I report that it says 0, but I might actually feel a very slight breeze. Those days are really, really rare. We're kind of in the plains. It's pretty wide open, even though we're surrounded by houses and trees. This is actually really, really calm. I went out a lot of different days, of course, as you might expect, doing battery testing for flight times. And I was doing various tweaking, checking screws, moving things around, trying different opportunities to try to get new or smoother footage out of this, because that's the primary point of this format, in my opinion, even though I fly them differently than that sometimes, is smooth footage. And when you have 4K opportunity, if it's not smooth, then what is it for? We've switched over to the Beta FPV, or the goggle DVR view, and probably the most important thing is you're wanting to look at is the throttle position, so you can see kind of how much throttle I have to use to fly around. There might be other things on screen. There's not a whole lot on screen that might interest you, but it is there if you are interested. But I spent a lot of time flying this slow like this outside before I finally moved inside, and that's where I thought, okay, there's an issue here. I did reach out to Emax. I did say, hey, is there new PIDs or changes coming up? Because I'm not getting any smooth flight footage outside. I did not hear back. So that's where we stand in the moment. Let's move on, because we've all seen the camera jittering around. And again, remember, inside, in my eye, it was nice and smooth. At the very least, it was way smoother than this. Going into the performance section, you see it says rescue off. Yeah, it's kind of made where GPS is already set up, but according to the pages that just became available today, they don't seem to be selling it with GPS, so you have to add your own. It's just though the frame is equipped with the potential of being able to mount a GPS in that rear section, and they put a little hole in the plastic frame. They did say in their materials on their webpage that their market seems to be the Avata, and some of these sharper movements you'll see, I just don't see how you would want this quad if you're going to be flying and doing sharp movements. I wouldn't call my flights very flowy, and one of the things is when I do those sharp movements, you get a little bit of that recoil from that clean and dirty grommet mounted section up top. And then when you hit the throttle hard, you can see the jitters again. So again, we have video clarity issues with this particular quad. I just want to reiterate that in case anyone is skimming through the video using the timeline and the chapters, which I'm trying to put in all the videos now. I did reach out to Emax. I did try a bunch of different batteries. I tried, well, more things we can discuss, but just to cover them pretty quickly. Any opportunity where I thought I had an opportunity to make a change, whether I thought it would actually make an improvement or not, I tried. Because it's really rare that Emax or really anyone puts out a product that doesn't have stable footage, especially in the case where the design of the quad is about getting smooth, stable footage. Some sections of it are okay, but for the most part, there's some wobble and bobble and jitter just throughout the video. And if you've got much wind above, like I said, in my slower flight, 4 miles an hour, it's going to be problematic to get smooth footage if that's what you're looking for. If you just like Emax products and you're looking for this type of quad at a 2.5-inch format, then here you go, I guess. But we're not even going to finish out this entire flight. Wanted to give you a sample of what sort of performance you could get out of it. This is what I do when it comes to just about all of these Cinewhoop cinematic sort of quads. I fly them aggressively as well, because not everybody's looking to capture footage, but maybe just go out and fly and have some fun. Okay, so the construction part, this is really for Emax about how I put this together, because I've been reciting this in my head over and over at nighttime when I go to bed. If there was something that I just did wrong, I tried tightening screws down. I have actually flew it most of the time without the battery wires inside this little catch, just to make sure it wasn't, catching and causing a problem with our clean and dirty sections in these grommets. If there's something that didn't come with mine, I guess that's possible, but inside, the flight footage was nice and stable. So anyways, a couple of things. So I ran my camera cable, which putting this together, either I spent way too much time on it or it just takes too much time. So I ran the camera cable, as you can hopefully see, it comes underneath the platform, and then there's a hole right down here in the center of the frame. I ran that down there, and then I brought it back across underneath the frame, but above the all-in-one, right down through here, and it goes to this side where it connects to the VTX. Of course, you can see where my plug connects. That came pre-wired to the all-in-one flight controller. They do have this ready for you. You don't have to solder one on. And then where's my antenna portions at? Where did that go? Gotta be, I can't see it. and I can't remember. Camera, and the antenna portion's got to be around here somewhere, right? Oh, I can see the antenna wires right back here. At any rate, it seems as though this can only be oriented one way, because this gap has got to be, you know, available in order for you to be able to use the SD card of the VTX as well as the USB-C, which you'll need for activation and to pull off any onboard stored video as well. Here's a nice little shot of the bottom. You can see how they kind of used a double wall sort of configuration. This bottom part unscrews and pulls out. In order to mount and route everything, you do have to unscrew the frame from the prop protection side of things. I don't know how you get this off. I didn't want to pull on it terribly hard, but that was another struggle I had. Of course, I didn't get any sort of instructions, and even if they posted now on the website, their website doesn't really show any instructions as of yet in how they planned for this to be assembled. I kind of made an issue out of this. This antenna kind of sits in here loosely. I didn't think that was a good idea. It didn't cause any problems as far as coming loose and getting in the prop line. But when it came to me thinking about the vibration that I was getting out of the video, I was like, well, I wonder if the antenna is moving around in the wind, causing this top section to move around somehow, because you might not be able to see it. It's a T-style, and it does go up there. I don't see where, unless it gets real extreme, that would be touching this top or clean section. But it was one of the thoughts I had. I went around and tightened screws. I actually loosened the screws on the All-in-One, taking this apart a couple of different times. Kind of exhausted myself. Normally, I wouldn't give it this much of a try, but I was just kind of surprised that I didn't have stable footage at really low wind. And when I reviewed that footage, I was disappointed, because I don't get days like that very often. Of course, on windier days, it was not as good. So I think the bottom line on this is, unless we see some sort of PID tune or Emax comes back to me with something that I can revisit, which I'm willing to do to try to reinvestigate where I went wrong with my assembly, or, other videos, do they confirm or deny my sort of findings? Those are things that are going to be important to all those that are watching. If you're looking at this, you should see other videos launching today on this quad, as today is the official launch day. I'm speaking hypothetically, because when I say today, it's actually not today. I'm just recording it, and it should launch on the day that it actually becomes available on Emax's website, and other people who do reviews should have one out there. So at this time, for me, this would be a not to buy sort of quad, unless there was something in there that I missed that you saw that made you want to buy it, I guess. I really struggle to find a use case. We have the same sort of prop size quads and the same sort of format that I didn't struggle with at all. Matter of fact, the HDLRC Talon that I just reviewed actually has an opportunity to mount a naked GoPro or a light GoPro antenna, or it's not antenna, HD camera, which I did in my review video, and I'll link that down in the video description. If you want a 2.5-inch prop size sort of quad like this, the Audity RC XI25 Pro as well. So there are other opportunities where you can actually fly and get stable footage in more wind than I tried with this. Whereas for me and this, to get stable footage, it was inside only. And I think that use case is far too small. The prices, this I think is coming around $470 if you order it with the VTX and camera included. If you add your own, I think it's around $160. So the pricing's pretty competitive when you take the O3 part out of it. But yeah, I wasn't very pleased. And it's been a while since I've had a quad reviewed that I've had to say, this is not a buy for me. Hopefully other reviewers have better results than I do, but from what I know of this as of right now, and without anything back from Emax about me being able to revisit something, yeah, it's just not one I think that anyone should be buying based upon my experience. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, or otherwise, please let me know in the comments section below. It could get ugly down there. Cover your eyes. I appreciate your time. And thanks for watching.